Talking about the presidential physical fitness test, and we are going back to a test by executive order from President Trump. The background on this is very fascinating. Joining us to talk about that is Dr. Chuck Corbin. You were a part of the original development of the test and data collection, weren't you?
Yeah, and on several of the tests, because it's not just one test, there's multiple tests.
When did this data begin collecting, and when it became the original test, how did that develop?
Very quickly. In the 50s, they started the President's Council. It was a reaction to the alleged low fitness of American youth. The PE Association, AFERD, produced multiple tests, and every year from 58, 65, 75, they did a revision of the test. In 65, the President's Council did an award for the AFERD test. So for 30 years, there was no President's test. In 80, AFERD came out with a health fitness test, and in 85, the President's Council did its first test. So if people said they took the President's Council test before 85, they didn't.
But how did the 85 test change things? Because it was more performance-based. It's the standard we know of, the mile run, the sit-up, which are very similar in these, but it was a different achievement, right? It was a different way to achieve. Am I wrong in that?
Well, in 80, when AFERD came up with its health-related test, health-related fitness is cardiovascular fitness, strength, muscular endurance, flexibility, body composition. Skill-related fitness is agility, balance, coordination, reaction time, speed, those kinds of things, the kinds of things that an athlete would do. So this test had some of both. This test was just health-related fitness. So then there were two tests. So the President's Council came in 85 when the President's Council broke away from the PE teachers and did their own thing.
So this was in the 80s, which later became what President Obama adopted in 2012. So it didn't just happen in 2012, it goes back to the late 80s.
Yeah, pretty close to correct. The people that developed this for the Cooper Institute, the Science Board, were the task force that was charged with doing a new health-based test, an updated one.
And so everybody knows you were a part of this.
I was a part of this. I also collected data for this. I also opposed this partially because it was a ward where you have to get an 85th percentile, and only 1% of all kids even had a chance at it. Heredity, maturation, other things precluded most kids from ever getting it. We have enough awards for athletes. We wanted to focus on health. Yes, I was part of the Science Board, and it was developed not for the Presidential Award or the test, but for the Cooper Institute, and it started in 88.
Okay.
It became the President's test in 2012.
So now President Trump wants to go back to a test, the president's test, more like, do we know if it's going to be more like what President Reagan had in the 80s, or are they not sure?
Well, I've been working with an association that does a position paper to try to encourage the president and the secretary to appoint advisors to come up with the best possible test. So it's unclear. We don't know whether they want to go back to this or whether they're just rejecting this or what it is. But my opinion is we have ample evidence of the health benefits of physical fitness and physical activity. It helps classroom achievement. It helps kids stay in school. It helps kids feel better about themselves if it's done right. I purport self-testing of kids rather than me doing fitness testing to you. We teach kids how to test themselves.
But how do we get, with the high obesity rate we have and kids being more sedentary, how do we get them active so that they are more physically healthy, that we are a healthier lifestyle? What needs to happen?
Well, what I would do is I would put in evidence-based physical education programs in the school. We know that there are sport education programs that have evidence-based. There's a Fitness for Life program that has evidence-based that kids who go through this program in high school are more likely to be active 20 years after they get out of school. Those are the kinds of things we can do, but we should be promoting physical activity, because if you do the process, the product will follow to the extent that it's possible for who you are.
Dr. Corbin, it's great to meet you, and I appreciate the history lesson and what we're doing today, so thank you.
You bet.
It's great to see you.
Nice to meet you.
We'll be back. Coming up.